And now, Knock 2 Studios presents Common Censored.
What you gonna do with all this Trump up in your junk?
I'ma take a dump down my leg, a little lump.
Gross, Joe. They shot at me last weekend at my rally speaking. Bloody ear was leaking. Dem's mad I'm still breathing. Joe's got you spending all your money monthly on shit like gas and groceries. What you gonna
on shit like gas and groceries. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Common Censored. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you're having a good one. All of you censored commoners, I'm Lord Sterling, and we work together as force multipliers to accelerate and exacerbate the Great Awakening in the face of the global communist takeover. This is episode 252. Trump to return to Butler, Pennsylvania tomorrow. FEMA whistleblowers exposing misappropriation of relief funds that are supposed to be for Hurricane Helene. We've got also a whole bunch of Hurricane Helene updates. Vivek debating John Bolton, all kinds of crazy stuff to cover today as usual. Make sure to join us Monday through Friday, 6:45-ish Eastern time, starting a little bit late today. Sorry for the delay, guys. As we cover all the crazy clown world clusterfuck chaos on Common Censored, use hashtag Common Censored and hashtag InfoInfantry when you share the show. Find us on X at LordSterling_. Links to all of the content we covered today, articles, videos, etc., will be posted down in the video description on Rumble immediately following the broadcast. So if you are tuning into this later and need to maximize the efficiency of your focus, time, and attention, click down there, find the topics we talk about. Mama Mac will be adding timestamps to everything throughout the show as well. Make sure to show Mama Mac some love and head on over to alplama.com, your new herbal health guru, with tinctures to help remedy any of the ailments you may be suffering from. Tastes bad, but so good for you, right, Mama Mac? Alplama, yuck. They got the new wild lettuce extract in as well. A natural painkiller that's worth trying out. If you want to support the show directly, you can head on over to our link tree, where you can find links to Golden Cocoon, EMF clothing and products, our affiliate link. Make sure to use promo code CENSORED for 10% off your newfangled modern tinfoil hat. We took the tinfoil, upgraded it to silver. They don't call me Lord Sterling for nothing. You can also find merch there. Links to our books, Common Sense First Edition Revived by Thomas Paine, the best-selling American book of all time, a facsimile replication made from a January 1776 copy. We also have the redacted version, our eponymous title, Common Censored, where we took everything and made it impossible to read. The ultimate free speech, First Amendment, coffee table gag book. This is the book that brought the 13 colonies together against British imperialism. So censoring it begs the question, is a revolution against tyranny even possible when the public commons is stifled and suppressed? Disclaimer. Views expressed on Common Censored are only opinions. Assume everything we say is false and research for yourself. We're not giving medical, legal, or financial advice. The only advice we are giving is think for yourself. Question authority. Think for yourself. Question authority. Boom. All right, let's hop into the news. What do we got on the list first today? We've got Trump heading to Butler, Pennsylvania Saturday, tomorrow. He posted this on X. I'm coming back to Butler So they better have a full Secret Service detail this time. Because we don't want to take any more chances. I still say go into the bunker. Forget Butler, go to the bunker and hang out there. Do podcasts, you'll be able to reach more people, but it is quite a statement going back to the place where the event occurred, conquering it once and for all, fighting back in the face of adversity, sending a positive message that he will not give up. How about this one from USA? No, sorry, from USA Today, posted on Yahoo Finance. Dream on! The American dream now costs $4.4 million over a lifetime. You can live the American dream, but it'll cost you. The lifetime tab for such aspirations as owning a home, driving new cars, raising kids, and taking annual vacations comes to a cool $4.4 million, according to Investopedia, the financial media site. So they took your birthright, the power of the dollar, the power of American industry and might, and they siphoned out all the values, sent the jobs overseas, and now we're working for peanuts, and you got to make millions to live the American dream that a pipe cutter could afford in the 50s with 6 kids. So congratulations, guys. But don't despair. The American dream is attainable, financial advisors say, especially for a family with 2 earners and good savings habits. So, 2 earners, making sure the mom's not around to raise the family, separating the parents from the kids so that the new parents are the state. Seems like this is going exactly the way these control freaks want. Divide, conquer, isolate, destroy, subvert. The typical operation. And it's going to be here for the foreseeable future. So make sure to go vote this November, because the only way we're getting around this is with Trump. Trump, Vance, RFK Jr., MAGA, Maha. Not only make America great again, hopefully stabilize the dollar, bring down prices by getting rid of regulations and all the red tape and unleashing the power of the free market. We can rebound with the free market. But also making America healthy again, because you can't take advantage of the free market if you are lazy and dumbed down and incapable of doing so, demotivated, demoralized. The first phase of the KGB cultural subversion operation, as described by Yuri Bezmenov. We've played those clips before. The KGB defector. Let's hop over to Elon Musk. On X, here is a detailed explanation of how the Democrat Party is turning all swing states, and thereby the whole country, into a permanent one-party state. It's happening before your very eyes, reposting America First Legal, who created a thread. Not only have they pledged to abolish the filibuster and pass legislation making illegal aliens into voting citizens, but they're already placing them on a fast track to citizenship. So he was reposting Elon talking about how they're deliberately bringing them in to manipulate the electoral base and the using the census to boost electoral votes in blue areas. Starting point, unprecedented levels of illegal immigration since January 20th, 2021, but the illegal aliens don't get deported. The overwhelming majority of encounters with illegal aliens since 2021 have resulted in DHS paroling them into the United States, giving them temporary protected status, which the debate moderators the other day says they're not here illegally, they're in temporary protected status. They came here illegally, and with a wave of a pen, they were magically allowed to stay. They came here illegally, they're illegals. But the tens of thousands of illegal aliens crossing weren't enough, so Biden-Harris added a phone app, unlimited each month, and this flight program, $30,000 per month. They all get paroled into the U.S. We have a story about this app later on too. It's like a concierge where you just sign up. You don't have to fill out too much information. They set you up on a path to get here and to get TPS. Insane. What does this mean? Whether paroled after crossing illegally, paroled through the app, or paroled through the flights in, any alien paroled can then, quote, adjust status inside the United States based on marriage or employment. No need to leave. In other words, they can get a green card basically by default. Once they get a green card based on a job or marriage, real immigration love, they can then become a citizen after 5 years. Millions of illegals who otherwise wouldn't be eligible for this pathway are eligible because Biden-Harris paroled them. The fix is in. It's a trap. On top of that, any alien granted asylum inside the United States or refugee status flown to the United States by DOS can become a citizen just 5 years after becoming an asylee/refugee. They get credit for 1 year of refugee status. They added 100,000 refugees last year. Additionally, DHS is expediting naturalization adjudications. DHS is fast-tracking citizenship applications for any aliens remotely eligible. This has been widely reported. Kamala also pledged to support a pathway to citizenship for everyone here illegally. Clearly, this would also create tens of millions of additional voters across the United States. So within 5 to 10 years, Biden-Harris can completely transform the electorate. Anyone who doubts their intentions or that fast-tracking is occurring has no clue how the system actually works. It's just a matter of time. 5, 10 years, 15, doesn't matter. And that's just the issue of the actual pathways to citizenship. Layer on top of that the fact that anyone can register to vote by using the federal form and providing no proof of citizenship. This means they're all going to be voting even while they're still illegal, so to speak. Anyone with a cursory understanding of the immigration laws knows this is the whole game. It's sad that anyone would deny or doubt reality. It's pretty pathetic, honestly. How about this one? This is a pretty crazy one. From Epic Times, thanks to Threeper, I think, for sending this one. Dozens of meat processing plants expected to shut down under new EPA rules. You're going to eat the bugs, guys. Don't eat the bugs. Don't comply. Do not comply. EPA touts rules as necessary to control contamination from wastewater, while critics say the rules go too far and exemplify federal overreach. Yeah, all kinds of crazy federal overreach. Food prices, especially meat and poultry, have skyrocketed in the past 4 years and could be exacerbated further next year when new EPA rules for meat processors go into effect. This is by Darlene McCormick Sanchez at Epic Times. The Department of Agriculture's food price outlook for September reported that beef and veal prices had increased for 6 straight months and predicted they'll rise 5.2% overall in 2024. Poultry prices also rose, although by a smaller percentage, and are expected to rise more before year's end. The report traced the rise to factors including pandemic-related supply chain disruptions, all artificially imposed, and the worst inflation since the 1980s. Yeah, printing trillions and trillions of dollars. We covered yesterday, the first day of the new annual fiscal year. They're already over $204 billion in, which is insane. Next year could see still higher meat and poultry prices at the grocery store, analysts say. That's because an EPA proposal is expected to put some meat processors out of business, resulting in potential job losses, supply chain disruptions, supply going down, demand going up as they bring in all the illegals, prices skyrocketing. EPA announced a proposed rule change governing effluent or wastewater limits for meat and poultry processors in January of this year, followed by public comment in the spring. The agency's final rule will go into effect August 2025. The proposal is met with opposition from dozens of states, industry stakeholders, and policy experts who fear it will harm the industry, the food supply, and consumers. It's all they do. They regulate, they destroy, they tax, they destroy. These are negative externalities. When you impose things on the market, it has bad results. The proposed changes are spurred by lawsuits filed by a coalition of 13 environmental organizations. In 2019, the groups challenged the Trump administration under the Clean Water Act for not updating aging water pollution control standards for slaughterhouses and meat processing plants. In response, the EPA pledged to strengthen its regulations without implementing changes. 2022, a second lawsuit was filed, resulting in the current proposal. Proposed rule contains 3 possible options for reducing wastewater discharges from slaughterhouses and poultry processors through water filtration technology. Any type of imposing technological controls over industries, private industries, is way outside the government's purview, in my opinion. The EPA estimates the new rules would reduce pollutants discharged through wastewater from processing facilities by about 100 million pounds per year. The proposed rules would establish tighter limitations for nitrogen released into the environment by large processors and, for the first time, would limit phosphorus. Oh, man. These environmental freaks are going to shut down the fuel industry, which will make everything more expensive. They're going to shut down the meat industry, which will make everything more expensive. They're killing the economy intentionally. And with less protein, we're less likely to resist. They're going to supplement it with the bugs, and then we'll be screwed. We'll be so screwed. The rules would apply to processors directly discharging wastewater into bodies of water, and for the first time would also apply to those indirectly discharging wastewater via water treatment plants. In another first, the new rules would establish pretreatment standards for oil and grease, total suspended solids, and biochemical oxygen demand. The EPA solicited comments on its preferred option and on 2 other proposals, which would apply pollutant limitations to smaller processors and tighten restrictions on wastewater plants. About 850 of some 5,000 facilities would be impacted by the preferred rule change, the agency said. Those include large facilities processing more than 50 million pounds of meat per year and more than 100 million pounds of poultry per year. The EPA estimates that under its preferred option, at least 16 facilities would be forced to close. Sounds preferable to me, impacting at least 17,000 jobs and your protein intake and prices. At the top end, EPA estimates up to 53 plants could close. Prices for beef, chicken, turkey, and pork products are expected to increase slightly, while availability of meat and poultry is expected to decrease slightly, according to the agency. So get ready for this. Not good news. Stock up on your meats now if you got money for it. I'm talking years and years of meat stocks. You don't want to be caught eating the bugs. Oh, man. Crazy, 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 crazy. Oh, in regards to the last story, I skipped a little thing too. Here are the numbers you need to understand. Here's Tucker talking about it.
The numbers you need to understand. Yale University released a study last week by 3 researchers, all of them liberal, I believe, who concluded that the actual number of illegal aliens in this country is not 11 million, it's north of 22 million. 22 million. Fact 1. Fact 2. The Democratic Party is now, as a matter of policy, calling for the legalization of all illegals in this country. Citizenship voting rights. 22 million new voters. Fact 3. The overwhelming majority of first-time immigrant voters vote Democrat. Fact 4. The largest margin in American presidential history was 17 million votes. 1984 election between Mondale and Reagan. 17 million. You would add to our voter rolls 22 million, at least, permanent electoral majority in perpetuity. That's what this is about. It's not about making the country better, serving our labor needs, helping the population. It's about putting Democrats in power forever. That is the truth of our immigration debate.
Yep. Let's hop over to Dr. Insensitive Jerk over here on X at Dr. Insensitive. Woman gets elected president, immediately lives the dream, and demands an entire country apologize. AF posted this one. Mexico's newly elected female president, Claudia Sheinbaum, demands Spain apologize for colonizing Aztecs, Incans, and Mayans. So it doesn't matter if it was hundreds of years ago, then the current establishment has nothing to do with it. Everybody needs to apologize for all of the colonization of the past, because it's all our fault, guys.
Un representante de Vox. Vox es un grupo
I don't speak too much of Spanish, like
España.
Translate this the way it needs to be. But I'm sure there are translated versions out there. Yeah, she's already being divisive in a country where 60% of the people are mixed with Spaniards. She knows this will stir controversy and create sides among the population. Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. It's what we always see happening everywhere, which is why I like to show all those charts. You guys know the charts that they use to divide this country. With the mainstream media, New York Times, this chart shows New York Times, Washington Post, LA Times, Wall Street Journal. I like this one, the use of racism, racist, and racists skyrocketing under Obama, using it to drive a wedge between the citizens of this country, picking at old wounds. They took the Mao's Cultural Revolution, dividing the society of China by classes, and they customized it for dividing the U.S. based on race. Picking at old scabs of former division. We were at an all-time high level of positive race relations when I was in high school in like 2005, and starting out in college, and everybody was getting along. It was great. And then they just, boom, started calling everybody racist who disagreed with Obama's policies. And it had nothing to do with race, and they just harped and harped and harped on it until Trump became like the manifestation, the focal point of the resistance against Obama. And so, of course, they had to categorize it as racist because they don't, that's all they focus on. Sean, can we expect a costume for Halloween episode, Duncan? Ooh, that's a good question. Maybe I'll do the Joker, Sean, since I've got the long hair for it now. I could do that, but I do have the beard, so it would look kind of fucked up. Let's see what we got next on the list. Sean Davis at Sean M. Dave, DAV over here. The Border Patrol won't patrol the border. Secret Service won't stop people from shooting Trump in the head. FEMA won't respond to natural disasters, and DOJ won't prosecute criminals. It's like we're living in upside down world. Your government hates you and only cares about you to the extent it can steal your money. Yep. Hard to argue against that. Everything they say they're supposed to do, they're the total 100% complete opposite of it. It's like we're living inside an Orwellian nightmarescape that's replaced the American dream, which now costs bazillions of dollars, as we covered at the start of the show. This one is disturbing. This one is really disturbing. I saw this last night. Biden, the real Alex Jones, posting this, reposting Benny Johnson. Biden is the definition of an incompetent puppet. He said the people in charge know exactly what they're doing. That said, the people in charge know exactly what they're doing. Make no mistake, the Democrat-controlled federal government is hindering aid in the states affected by the hurricane, rural areas, and 4 battleground states that vote predominantly Republican may not have voting up and running by election time. If the Democrat-controlled response continues to slow-roll aid to the states affected, if they slow roll aid, the states affected have a good chance of going to Kamala. The fix is in. Look at this clip of Joe Biden being asked, what do the states in the storm zone need after what you saw today, after he did a flyover? And he says, oh, storm zone? What states? I didn't know which storm you were talking about. What planet are you living on, Joe? This dude doesn't give a flying rat's bum about you guys.
What do the states in the storm zone need, Mr. President?
Okay.
What do the states in the storm zone, what do they need after what you saw today?
Oh, in the storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about.
Which storm we're talking about?
They're getting everything they need.
They're getting everything they
Very
need?
happy across the board.
What do the
They're
states
very
in the
happy.
storm zone need?
Across the board. They're getting everything they need. They're very happy across the board. You didn't know what storm zone you're talking about. This dude is disconnected. 25th Amendment now. And then 25th Amendment Kamala too. And wouldn't that put the Speaker of the House in charge? Ooh, Mike Johnson? I don't know. I don't know how that would be. Let's move next to Stephen Miller, MD, PhD, at Sage Listener on X, reposting himself. The Harris administration sends hundreds of billions to Ukraine, with even more billions funding illegal immigrants, while Americans who's lost everything, homes and lives, are expected to survive on a pittance of $750. $750, but they got everything they need, according to creepy, sleepy, crooked Joe. Insane. Ukraine, in largely in pretty good condition, sending hundreds of billions of dollars, and the people here get $750. $750. Saw this post on Great Awakening. Kamala and Sleepy Joe are universally being given poor grades for the way that they are handling the hurricane, especially in North Carolina. It's going down as the worst and most incompetently managed, quote, storm at the federal level ever seen before. Their management of the border is even worse. Zing. It's not incompetent and bad management, in my opinion. This is the intent. This is exactly what they want to happen. They're sabotaging red areas before the election. How about this article? Jim Hoft, whistleblowers blow the lid off of FEMA. Pre-disaster funds allegedly withheld. And first responders left in limbo without orders before Hurricane Helene strikes. See, this is intentional, in my opinion. Threeper, what's up, bro? Good to see you. Oh, I think I forgot to do Threeper's quote of the day. Since we see Threeper, let's hop into it over here. Speaking of Thomas Paine, Common Sense, Reaper's quote of the day: moderation in temper is always a virtue, but moderation in principle is always a vice. That's right. No compromises, guys. No compromises. Don't let the Hegelian dialectic keep dragging us further and further left. Great quote. Reaper, thanks for sharing that, brother. So let's hop back into the story. Multiple whistleblowers have come forward to expose the mismanagement at the Federal Emergency Management Agency. They're all about management, but they can't manage themselves. Just as Hurricane Helene devastates the southeastern U.S., according to a letter from Rep. Matt Gaetz, whistleblowers allege that FEMA withheld capital, pre-disaster funds, and failed to issue deployment orders to first responders, leaving Americans stranded in the wake of the storm, almost like it was intentional. In a bombshell letter sent to Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, Rep. Matt Gaetz outlined a litany of complaints from whistleblowers across federal, state, and local emergency management agencies. According to these whistleblowers, FEMA's failure to release necessary funds and provide clear orders has left, quote, hundreds, if not thousands, of service members and first responders in limbo as they sit idle in hotels while the southeastern U.S. suffers the devastating effects of Helene, according to the Daily Mail. So they're running out of money. They don't have enough for the hurricane season, and they're just spending money to keep people in hotels to do nothing. Hundreds, if not thousands. Imagine the bill for that. They're just wasting money. The allegations come as FEMA's credibility continues to crumble under mounting evidence of gross mismanagement. This follows Mayorkas' admission that FEMA, quote, does not have enough funds to make it through the hurricane season. How is this possible, given that Congress just approved a $20 billion emergency package for FEMA? The whistleblowers claim the agency is diverting resources to other priorities, specifically providing aid to illegal immigrants. We saw that $1 billion welcome facility they're setting up in California, and using taxpayer dollars to cover the costs of border enforcement failures. They're sending billions to New York and to all these other places to help with the illegals, and they're completely neglecting the Trump voters that have their houses washed away. Gateway Pundit previously reported that over $1 billion, which should have been used for American disaster relief, has instead been redirected into settling illegal immigrants through programs like the Shelter and Services Program. Gaetz did not mince words in his letter to Mayorkas. Quote, yesterday, you stated that the Federal Emergency Management Agency, which is part of your department, does not have enough funds to make it through the hurricane season. This news comes after FEMA has spent hundreds of millions of taxpayer dollars on migrants due to border czar Kamala Harris's open border instead of prioritizing funding for Americans impacted by disasters. My office has been in contact with whistleblowers in numerous agency management functions at the federal, state, and local levels, and they all point to the same critical mismanagement issues. FEMA has wasted taxpayer funds, misappropriated funds, and left other federal, state, and local responders without deployment orders on the ground. As reported and further confirmed by my office, hundreds, if not thousands, of service members were deployed by the Department of Defense to North Carolina and have sat idle, waiting for FEMA. Everybody involved, that's not these people waiting for orders, everybody mismanaging this, quote unquote, needs to be arrested. This is criminal. We have confirmed FEMA employees deployed on the clock, awaiting orders in hotels. FEMA pre-disaster aid was withheld, exacerbating the emergency. It's also public that NGOs have purchased airline tickets for migrants through the use of FEMA funds. The aftermath of Hurricane Helene is a major disaster, and your waste and unpreparedness are leaving Americans in distress, unable to access food, water, or medicine, and expecting help with none coming. Please provide answers to the following questions to my office by October 11th. What policies and regulations of the Department of Homeland Security and FEMA prevent emergency funds from being wasted on illegal immigrants, including what conditions are placed on guarantees of the agency? 2. Of FEMA's total budget for fiscal year 2024, what portion of funds can be guaranteed to have been spent solely on American citizens, and what portion of funds was or may have been spent on non-citizens? And 3, finally, in fiscal year 2024, what portion of funds in the Disaster Relief Fund has been spent on non-disaster relief programs, such as providing services to illegal aliens and providing routine training to FEMA employees authorized out of our general appropriations? Good questions to ask. Like they say here, the American public deserves to know how their hard-earned tax dollars are being spent, especially during times of crisis. As we face an unprecedented hurricane season, the failure of FEMA to prioritize American citizens over non-citizens is not just a misallocation of resources. It's a national disgrace. It's treason. Time for accountability now. Treason. They're helping an illegal invasion. What else could it possibly be called? It's treason. They're failing to help Americans with money that's supposed to go to them, and they're helping illegals. Uh-oh, man the battlements, arm the parapets, we're being raided. KTOX Radio 1013 has raided the stream. What's up, guys? Thanks for the raid, CW. Hold your fire. It's Friendlies. It's Friendlies raiding us. Thanks for being here, guys. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Let's hop over to our next topic. Another big shout out to KTOX Radio 1013. David Axelrod says the quiet part out loud as Biden blocks ongoing rescue efforts, claims Hurricane Helene victims in North Carolina are mainly Trump voters who will find it hard to vote. Was he grinning like a little weasel here when he made this comment? This is by Christina Layla. Obama-Harris whisperer David Axelrod, host of the Axe Files podcast, said the quiet part out loud as the Biden regime blocks ongoing rescue operations in North Carolina. Axelrod said Hurricane Helene victims in North Carolina are mainly Trump voters who will find it hard to vote in the 2024 election. David Axelrod said affected Democrats from Asheville are, quote, upscale liberal voters, and they're probably going to figure out a way to vote. I'm not sure a bunch of these folks who had their homes and lives destroyed elsewhere in western North Carolina in the mountains are they're going to be as easy to wrangle for the Trump campaign. Oh, so maybe they're conveniently allowing the rescue efforts to be slowed down and halted because it'll be good for the Democrats. If Trump voters can't actually vote, hundreds of people are still missing after Helene search and rescue recovery efforts were delayed because Joe Biden was lounging at the beach last weekend and Kamala was busy fundraising. Treason.
There are 2 houses that direction and 1 house that direction, and each one's about a mile.
I can't imagine not doing this right now.
And they're preventing people from even going in. It's insane. Completely insane.
Over 220 Americans dead from Hurricane Helene. Hundreds still missing and loved ones crying in agony. Cadaver dogs have joined search and rescue crews to sniff out bodies stuck under structures. One North Carolina woman lost her parents and her 7-year-old.
I was stuck there for...
Oh, man. Insane. Completely insane. And adding insult to injury, Congressman Corey Mills says Joe Biden's visit to North Carolina caused a 4-hour delay in search and rescue efforts. Every minute of these search and rescue efforts are critical. Joe Biden showing up to do nothing. Just don't show up if like nobody wants you there anyway. If you're going to delay the search and rescue efforts, completely ridiculous. Congressman Corey Mills said Joe Biden's visit to North Carolina on Wednesday caused a 4-hour delay in search and rescue efforts. Thanks, even though hundreds of people are still missing. But don't worry, guys. Don't worry, because FEMA has announced that non-citizen aliens will be granted disaster assistance. What about the Americans? What about us? As Americans suffer through the aftermath of Hurricane Helene and communities in North Carolina continue to search for over 200 missing loved ones lost in flooding, there's a glimmer of hope. For non-citizens, if you're one of the millions of non-citizens that the Biden-Harris regime granted asylum to, you may qualify for FEMA aid. FEMA will grant illegals assistance, including permanent residents, non-citizens granted asylum, certain non-citizens of their spouses or kids being granted asylum. We may provide disaster assistance to qualified non-citizens, including permanent residents, non-citizens, granted asylum, refugees, certain non-citizens, or their spouses or kids. So they're helping the illegals, man, but they're delaying the recovery efforts for the Americans. So I found the perfect Harris Walls campaign poster over here on patriots.win. This is it, guys. This is a good one right here. Let's zoom and enhance. Harris Walls 2024, death to the American dream. Couldn't be more accurate. Oh, can you guys not see that? What's up with that? We fix this over here. The software is glitching. Here we go. This should work. Boom. Boom. Harris Walls 2024, Death to the American Dream. This is the Harris Walls. This should be their official campaign poster right here, because this is ridiculous. But not everybody's taking all this bullshit lying down. Rep. Nancy Mace has introduced a bill to force FEMA to redirect all funds from supporting illegal immigrants to disaster relief. Isn't it truly time we put America first? Tara Bull over here posted this at Tara Bull 808. Bruce Ballou over here. I can't believe we had to create a bill for this. Fucking hate our government. Yeah, it's pathetic that it has even come to this. Nick Sortor talking about it as well. I saw a post of Nick Sortor using state police to get rid of FEMA barricades down in one of these southern states to make sure relief can get through. We'll be covering that shortly. Nick Sortor over here posting, breaking. Rep. Nancy Mace has introduced a bill to force FEMA to redirect all funds from illegals back to disaster relief. FEMA spent over $1 billion accommodating illegals in the past few years alone. Now they're saying they don't have enough for hurricane relief. People all along the path of Helene are suffering from the lack of aid they're getting. Entire towns have been wiped out, and the Biden-Harris regime is prioritizing illegals and facilitating an invasion. This is treason. It's treason. Let's check in with this horrifying video. This is a disgusting. Chimney Rock, a small town to be bulldozed with bodies still high in the trees, and officials are saying they don't want the public to know about this. Chimney Rock, fight for your community during this horrible tragedy. Let's see what this lady is saying over here about Chimney Rock. If I can get some volume active for you guys.
And we have some disgusting breaking news, and it involves these hurricane victims. So this morning, Chimney Rock, which is close to Lake Lure, which is the viral video of the helicopter guy being threatened to be arrested, where he left a victim on the side of a mountain because they threatened to arrest him. Well, apparently they're getting ready to just bulldoze that entire community. And the local residents are speaking out, stating there are still bodies in the trees. You can see them. And they're not going to go rescue the bodies. No, they're just going to bulldoze it down so that the family members have no response or idea as to what happened to their loved one and or the ability to lay them to rest. And then they made the statement this morning that they did not want this to get out to the public. And I'm going to need you to do what you do, TikTok, because this is disgusting. I found this out from a local resident who was in attendance, and she was speaking on a live.
That they said that they can't even share, that they don't want this to go in public. And that's what they said. The town people said this morning.
True.
Is that they're literally piles of people that families are searching for, that they're
black and yellow.
Gonna just wipe them out, not collect them, not do anything, not send the family information, nothing. It is so terrible.
Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Let's hop over to Laura Loomer. Wow, this is so sad. A woman in North Carolina sobbing about all the dead bodies floating around North Carolina that nobody is coming to pick up. Death toll is going to be massive. Kamala is MIA. We really have no idea at this point what the death toll is going to look like.
Hey, family. We're up at their neighbors. We can't see any of y'all's Marcos at this time, and I don't know when, and I don't know if this is going to go through. We're doing okay. trying to get my voice here. My tears are from the stories that I've heard from people that I have met and talked to. We're okay. It's just thinking about...
Hey, academics. Thanks for joining the Discord, bro.
Thinking about what so many people are going through is horrifying. A woman and her husband left their home, came back the next day, and found they had 15 cats, 5 dogs, and a father-in-law, and found them all dead except for 4 cats.
That's right, Kiss Fur. This is only the first.
Story was hard to hear.
Man-made weather disaster. More to come. I agree. Kissy Fur,
but it's
welcome.
The look in her eyes that I can't.
Yeah, not the first.
Forget.
Just the first in this string.
Last night, somebody was at the river and just looking at the destruction and cars upside down, and saw Halloween costumes floating down a river, and then she saw faces and realized they weren't costumes. She said, "I've seen bodies and I'm not okay with that."
So this goes on. You can imagine how horrible it is. Hopefully it's all bullshit, Wiley. Hopefully. In other news, the Earth will literally explode if Donald J. Trump loses. We have an image captured by Starlink from the future. Elon Musk posting that over here, so keep that in mind. Let's hop over to Ryan Matta at Ryan Matta Media, M-A-T-T-A. Hurricane update. Did you know BlackRock just signed a $90 million contract for lithium in the exact town that was hardest hit by the hurricane? Let's check out this report.
Dependent on one mineral called high purity quartz, and virtually the entire global supply of that quartz comes from one tiny town called Spruce Pine, North Carolina. Now, Spruce Pine saw 2 feet of rainfall from Hurricane Helene, and now nearly a week later, city officials tell me that there's still no water, power, or cell service. The infrastructure is completely disrupted to the point that roads and railways are so torn up that in some areas in the western part of the state, mules are being used to transport materials in and out. So the 2 companies that operate the quartz mines there, that's Zabelco and Quartz Corp, they tell us their work has been shut down since Thursday, and Quartz Corp adds that they have no visibility as to when operations can restart. So the question becomes not just whether the mines themselves have been damaged, but also whether it's possible to get the quartz out. Disruptions would impact not only the $5 billion quartz market, but the $600 billion semiconductor market that depends on it. And that quartz is also used in solar panels, fiber optic cables, and some light bulbs, which could all see some issues as well. And Kelly, I just spoke a few minutes ago with the head of TechSet. They track the quartz supply chain.
Elon's going to be at the rally tomorrow,
right now is 4 to 6 weeks until things are back up and running in Spruce Pine, and that's if the roads are able to be cleared. So that alone could lead to at least minor slowdowns for the chip makers, and every day that timeline gets extended, Kelly, the impact just multiplies.
So more great news. They definitely want that quartz and all that lithium, both in North Carolina. How about this? Cat Turd posted this, reposting Pammy Who at Pammy Who. This lady overheard 4 FEMA execs at the airport and listened to what's really going on. Let's take a listen.
Picked up a flight of pediatric medical supplies that were brought in and are going to North Asheville. We were sitting in the private portion of the airport, and we got to overhear an awful lot. The Army pilots, the Navy pilots, hospital representatives, there was a lot of chatter. While we were there, a private jet landed and 4 FEMA representatives got off. 4 people off of a private jet. Come to find out, and you're not going to hear this, so let me tell you. Come to find out, Mission Hospital was told, a private hospital, that they are going to go ahead and be the morgue center for body recovery. all of the Army Chinook helicopters you're seeing flying overhead, they are doing body recovery. FEMA said, and you can take this as a direct quote, said that they are too tied up at the border to send any more representatives. Yeah, at the border. So anyhow,
imagine my shock.
Whatever's going on here. So they told Mission Hospital they are not sending refrigerated trucks so that they can stack the bodies up. And we also overheard that whatever fatality numbers you are hearing, and this is a quote,
probably way low.
Go ahead and add a couple of zeros.
Zeros, yeah.
So FEMA's too busy with the border. A private hospital and the Army are going to take over body recovery, and private individuals with their private helicopters and their private planes are the ones who are flying in supplies. I was at Hangar 10. I was picking up supplies. There was a stack for the Cajun Navy. There was a stack that looked like it was ASPCA. These are all being sent by private individuals. FEMA is doing nothing. Go ahead and share that.
These bastards spending all their time at the border, just completely ignoring American citizens. Kissiford, no, I don't think I don't think Elon's the devil to Threeper. We're just a little nervous about making sure that he stays on our side. And there was reporting that he had signed a contract related to one of these lithium companies with Tesla recently. It's probably, I don't think he's involved, but who knows? He's done more good than bad, in my opinion, especially with the acquisition of Twitter, tearing a hole through the veil that the controlled corporate media and big tech tries to project in front of us. Their like hologram of the reality is they want us to see it. So I think that Elon is is on our side at this point, hopefully, and doing more good than bad. But we got to make sure that he's on our side. So we got to continue to encourage him to join Team Humanity. How about this one? Elon posting this. This is the way. Speaking of Elon, Vivek reposting debate. I debated John Bolton last night at Virginia Military Institute about U.S. foreign policy. Neoconservative versus America first. At the start, 19% of the audience agreed with my position. At the end, the number was 55%. That's how we save America, by persuading our fellow citizens. Lady Hamilton, Art, raiding the stream, arm the parapets, man the battlements. Oh no, we're under attack. Sound the alerts. Lady Hamilton, Art has raided the stream. Oh, hold the hot oil. Don't dump it down yet. Again, it's friendly fire, guys. Friendly fire. What's up, Lady H? Hope all is well. Tri-Stater 72. Good to see you. Right in time to check out Vivek debating John Bolton. Let's hop over to YouTube where we have the full video. We'll watch some of this before we jump back into the news. Samuel, this is playing. I'll check that link you sent. Thanks again to any new viewers tuning in. This is Common Censored. I'm Lord Sterling, and we are working together as force multipliers to accelerate and exacerbate the Great Awakening. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Kissy Fur. That's why the motto of our broadcast is think for yourself. Question authority. Think for yourself. Question authority. I will brainwash you to think for yourself. I just thought that was hilarious. The juxtaposition of concepts. Brainwashing somebody into independent thought. Got it from, Third Eye, one of the Tool song, from a old clip of a Timothy Leary presentation where he says that a few times. So yeah, I agree. Fully Kissifer. Thanks for being here. Let's check out Vivek debating John Bolton, the walrus himself. Cuckoo Kachoo.
Arguing the affirmative on tonight's resolution is John Bolton, a lawyer and diplomat who has served in 4 presidential administrations.
Where's the hurricane when you need it?
As the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Ambassador Bolton strongly defended American economic and security interests as he...
What? What? No, he's neocon trash. He didn't defend economic or security interests at all. Total opposite.
Did throughout his time at the state and justice departments, first as U.S. Assistant Attorney General and later as Undersecretary of State for Arms Control and International Security Affairs. During his tenure as U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Ambassador Bolton was a leading voice on the need for the UN Security Council to take strong and meaningful action against international proliferation and terrorism.
Are you cracked?
Without meaning
you cracked, lady?
this time to sound like a smartass. Are you cracked?
Yeah. You mean to fight against the blowback that resulted from us meddling around in foreign countries for the past century?
Along with France's ambassador, Ambassador Bolton led the Security Council to approve a unanimous resolution to end the summer 2006 Hezbollah war on Israel, to authorize UN peacekeepers, and to create an arms embargo against Hezbollah. As White House National Security Advisor, Ambassador Bolton championed a strong and resolute U.S. foreign and defense policy. He oversaw the U.S. withdrawal from the 2015 international nuclear deal with Iran and was deeply engaged in key policy formulation and strategy regarding North Korea's weapons of mass destruction, strategic arms control related to Russia, and on China. Welcome, Ambassador Bolton.
China.
Arguing the negative on tonight's resolution is Vivek Ramaswamy, American business leader,
LFG.
New York Times bestselling author, and former top 2024 Republican presidential candidate.
In the right
He
corner,
has become a
weighing
leading
in at
voice
180
on practical
pounds.
solutions using existing legal authority to secure the border and end birthright citizenship for the children of illegal immigrants. Born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio, the author recounts the sage advice from his father. If you're going to stand out, then you might as well be outstanding.
CW, thanks.
This set the course for his life, a nationally ranked tennis player and the valedictorian of his high school, St. Xavier. He went on to graduate summa cum laude in biology from Harvard.
Shout out to KTOX Radio 1013. Thanks for rating us. Hope you guys are enjoying the show.
And received his JD from Yale Law School while working at a hedge fund. He then started a biotech company, Roivant Sciences, where he oversaw the development of 5 drugs that went on to become FDA approved. In 2022, Mr. Ramaswamy founded Strive, an Ohio-based asset management firm that directly competes with asset managers such as BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, and others, who use the money of everyday citizens to advance environmental and social agendas that many citizens and capital owners disagree with. Mr. Ramaswamy and his wife, who is a throat surgeon, live in Columbus, Ohio, where they're raising their 2 sons. Let's give a warm welcome to Vivek Ramaswamy.
Donna!
Our moderator for tonight's debate is Tom Rogan, foreign policy writer and editor for the Washington Examiner. He writes frequently on security and intelligence issues involving Russia, China, and the Middle East. He holds a Bachelor of Arts in War Studies from King's College London, a Master of Science in Middle East Politics from the School of Oriental and African Studies in London, and a graduate diploma in law from the University of Law, London. Among others, he has written previously for The Wall Street Journal, The Washington Post, Reuters, The Independent, The Atlantic, National Review, The Telegraph, and The Guardian. And now I'm going to turn it over to our moderator, Tom Rogan.
Is it time to get ready to rumble, JJR?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Ambassador, Mr. Ramaswamy, welcome. It's great to be here at BMI.
Totally, Biggs.
I know we all enjoyed meeting some of the cadets earlier. I think you are a testament to the exceptional nature of this country, and the fact that you're also here tonight with such passion and enthusiasm is a great endorsement. I should caveat that my accent aside, I do have US citizenship, so I'm not just an annoying Brit lecturing you.
Well, that has yet to be determined. We will see. Make sure to come join us on Rumble, you guys. If you're watching on YouTube, it's time to go Rumble and Exclusive. Sean, good night, brother. Hope you have a good weekend. I'll catch you on the flip side at 3 a.m. as usual. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. So we're going to terminate the YouTube feed and go Rumble and Exclusive. Sorry to have to ditch you if you can't make it. We'll be back on Monday for more Common Censored. Though you're going to want to join us because we're going to keep going for a few hours over on Rumble and X. If you can't make it, we'll catch you on Monday. Until then, let's get ready to rumble!